Thank you very much, Gary. Obviously too comprehensive for your own good there. Answered everyone's questions in your presentation. Thank you for your attention today, folks. We have got a couple more presentations before we wrap things up for lunch. We're going to talk about atmospheric contaminants in just a little bit. But for now, we're going to hear from another member of the WorkSafe team. It's my pleasure to welcome back to the stage your Chief Inspector, Tony Robertson, who's going to give us an update on Mines Statutory Positions. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks for paying attention, and great work there, Gary. So now what I want to talk about is the Mines Statutory Positions. Sort of a bit of a hands up, who thinks they've got control of this beast at the moment? So big show of hands. Okay. Well, there's not many. Go a bit higher so I can sort of gauge it. Up again. Yeah, all right. Who doesn't have control of this? They got the tiger by the tail. Patrick, excellent. Yeah, all right. So there's quite a bit of work to be done in this space. We're doing everything we can, but what I'll do is I'll walk you through what are the stats saying of how many people have been through and the like. So we do have some problems. We're trying to fix those as they come to light. We are fairly agile on this, and we've got a really great team of people working behind the scenes to make all the exams and everything work. So, all right, here we go. I'll try and make this work. I think it's that one. Yep, that worked. Excellent. Okay. So, as you know, we have the 15 statutory positions under the 26 and then the 8 certificates under 27. And I'll just walk through those quickly on the next couple of slides. Okay. For those of you that don't know, there is quite a bit behind each of the different positions, and that could be experience, time, it could be tertiary qualification required, and we still have some arguments around that, whether people have done the right tertiary qualification, and or there's training involved, be it the first aid or other training. And then there's the WHS risk management units. Okay. There's also the exam, and I'll run you through those stats. But also there's a requirement under some of them to be of good character. Okay. So that has proved to be somewhat problematic in some applications, but we're working through those. Yep. So the Mining Competency Advisory Committee meets each month to process some of the applications. So we are getting them through. I'm not sure if we're getting enough through to do the processing before the end of the time period. So I'll go off I'll cover that in a little while though. So these are the statutory positions. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It's mentioned in the regulations that it's quite comprehensive, and each one requires different things to be done. The mine air quality officers, etc. They have to do the course at an approved study, etc. So there's a whole range of things around each of those that need to be gone through, and they have to have. So the 27, and these are the ones that we do look at as part of the committee, and I chair that committee. So we are getting them through, but I just hope and pray that you'll get your applications in so we can get those through before the end of March next year. Okay. So there is quite a bit involved for each of these positions, and it takes a little bit of time to pull all that together, do your exams, do the training required, and then get those applications into us. So at the moment, for the actual exams, we're running at 4 venues. As you can see there, we've got 2 in Perth. We've got Kalgoorlie and Bunbury. I'll go through some stats a little bit later, but we do have empty seats at the moment, so we do want you to book in and attend the examinations. What we're thinking is going to happen as the time gets towards March 26, we'll probably see an influx of people trying to cram into those. So at the moment we have plenty of seats. So my tip for you is to go back to your mine and do a review of who needs to go through and get those people booked in to the exams. So as of kind of last week, we've made a change to the way we can book. I know there's been a lot of feedback through the CME and different industry players to say that it would be good if they could do bulk bookings. Okay, so we have made a change that the unique student identifier can be used now as part of that booking process. And so talking to some of my staff that were here today, in the program. If you let them know and give them a list, they can actually do bulk bookings for you, which we haven't been able to do before. And that relied on, the individuals at each mine to do the booking themselves, and it was a bit harder for you to actually manage that because they're doing the individual bookings. So a lot of the feedback we did have was that when we asked the sites how are they thinking they're going, they're thinking, yeah, it's really, really good, and then they've done a bit of an analysis and they've come back and said, well, actually, we haven't got as many people through the exams. Yeah, we've got them through the training and we've got them through the units of competency for the risk management, but not actually for the exams. So we're trying to make some changes there to make that a bit easier. Okay. So at the moment, we've got the positions open, the exam positions open until the end of September. So we're currently working on the next 3 months post that. Okay, so that should come out hopefully in the next 3-4 weeks. So that'd be good. We estimate 25,000 people need to go through the exams. Now, is that correct? Probably not. We don't really know. We've tried to ask many mines and the industry bodies, but it depends on how you set your workplace, management and supervision processes up at your individual mine. So I don't think we'll ever actually know the full extent. Maybe we will by March next year, but that's our estimated amount. So whether rightly or wrongly, that's a huge amount of people to get through an exam process in a couple of years. What we have seen is that there's been some worries with people doing the exams, and some people have failed a couple of times, but we've actually seen the pass rate getting better over time, particularly in the last 3 months, which is really good. As you can see, the transition time ends in March 26. So we want to move into a BAU process. I think Sally may have touched on that this morning. From once we get the bulk of those done, we want to work out a good system that suits the industry and is cost effective moving forward. All right, so the current exam rate, and that's from May, June and through July so far, is about 93%. As you can see, that's probably pretty good. As I said, the target is 25,000. So the amount that we've had through so far, and there would be more from that because that was from a few weeks ago, the numbers. So we've had 12,716. Okay, so I think that's a phenomenal amount to get through, but we still have 12 and a bit thousand to go. So based upon that rubbery figure of 25,000. So we probably need about 1,500 odd to go through each month to get to that figure. All right, so this is a slide to sort of give you a bit of an idea. So how many have gone through with the SSEs. So we've had 1,500 odd who've sat it, and then 1,459 who have passed. So that's around a 95, nearly 95% pass rate there. Any surveyors in the audience today? They're sitting at 100, so they're the smart people on site. All right. With the stat supervisors, we've had multiple feedback on them worrying about passing it. They're not necessarily have sat an exam and things like that. So that is something that we are aware of, and we're trying to make things easier on multiple fronts to sort of ease them through that. And we know from feedback from even you today, some of you, that remains a bone of contention with some people, and they may leave the industry. We don't want that, and I'm sure you don't want that, because there's people, knowledgeable people walking out the door, and they're critical people for you. However, it's up to us, and I guess everyone in this room and others, to make sure that we sort of help them through the process. All right, so the stats for them, it's gone up, so they're at about 85% pass rate at the moment, but you can see that there's quite a bulk to get through. That's the biggest group, I guess. I threw this slide in last night, and it's a bit of a snapshot for 2 weeks from the 8th to the 18th of July. Okay, so you can see the 4 venues and how many seats are at those. So we run them in the morning and then the afternoon. So there's, say for Work Health and Safety Foundation at Northlake, there's 30 positions available in the morning, 30 in the afternoon. So the totals being for just that 2-week period there is 480, 728 at Cannington, Kalgoorlie 80, and then Bunbury 448. Okay, so seats for that 2-week period is around that 1,700 mark. That's a huge amount. How many actually fronted up? And this is the problem, 532, okay? So throughout this whole process, we've been running at a very low occupancy rate for the exams. So the message for you today is to go back and try and get the people, start getting them to turn up, whoever needs to get through. So we're at 31%, okay? So that is much better than it was a couple of months ago, because it was around 22, 24%. All right, so we are creeping up, and we believe it will creep up as people get a bit worried towards the end of the year and as March comes around. But we've got tons of seats available, so we do need people to front up for them. So we have put a lot of information onto our website. We've got all of the dates there. You can see exactly what venue, what date, morning and afternoon. There's a huge amount of information. We've also put a lot of time and effort into some FAQs. And talking to some of you today, there's probably a couple of FAQs that I'll probably add in the next few weeks. So thanks for those that have sort of tackled me. Patrick up the back and others that have said, hey, we've got a problem with this, we're not putting out enough information. So we're pretty agile with this team. As I say, it's a high-performing team, and we're trying to get everyone through. We're trying to adapt and give out the information required. So all of the information is on there. If it's not on there, we'll make sure we get it on there, okay? So as I touched on, some of the supervisors do, and others that have got, may struggle with learning or have some sort of disability, we've got reasonable adjustment, okay? We'll help anyone and everyone that needs it, whether it's a proper condition or whether it's some sort of issue that they've got, or they just, really struggle with exams, okay? So we'll do everything we reasonably can to help your people get through, and the team are ready and willing and able to do that. I've got the MSP, Mines Statutory Positions email up there. It's got our new local government industry regulation and safety email, but the previous one that you've had will get to us as well at this time. So we've also put a whole bunch of stuff about study tips, what to do on the day. There's a whole bunch of information we've just put on there as well, just to help people get through the exams. That's the last slide. As I say, some of you said that you weren't getting out mine safety alerts, etc. So definitely jump onto that when you can. Look, we've got a period of time. The Minister and Sally, as the Commissioner, do not want to see the transition period extended. So we need to get everyone through in the period of time that we've got, okay? We've got plenty of seats available in the exams. Okay, we just need people to turn up and get through them, and they can do it 3 times within the year period. So, and if there is people are struggling, we can help them. Okay, so that's my message today. Get your people sorted, get them through. We can do the bulk bookings now. You just need to contact the team on that email. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.